Welcome to the realm of Millenia, entity of any number of coils, be ye man, woman, child, spirit, creature, or demon. Be ye a native, migrator, or even an invader into these lands. Here I am to welcome you into the lands, for I am your host, this Millenia Mailman here today. And I will be world building for you long after you've already begun to acclimate, fit in. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this two-piece white tea tourism Tuesday. That's where I go into this moldy old book of records and tell you stuff about the realm of Millenia and stuff that's actually getting put into the book series of the realm of Millenia. And without spoilers, allow you to get into some more of the back story and the lore and other aspects of the realm of Millenia that help you better integrate and understand what goes on and why particular things and the way particular things are being done in this realm of Millenia. Right? So, that being said, starting with page 1 basically here. This is the Transmigraphs, right? I have a whole page of Transmigraph. McGaff? Shut up, laundry room. God, I hate all the loud noises. That ruined my mood. Transmigraph and the Transmigraphin family. Yep. I remember doing a while back pretty much a whole week on the Transmigraph and invaders, and the way I chose to tie in and integrate the S.C.P universe and the S.C.P wiki into this universe of mine through the Transmigraph family, because the Transmigraphs are all transmigrators and reincarnators, effectively, who are welcome to Millenia. So through them, I have them being the basic guardians of the main way SCPs tend to find their way into this mainstay realm of Millenia. Right? So the Transmigraphs and then the SCP. Have a little side note on the SCP. Yeah. One more page. I have a little side note on the SCPs and how I plan to integrate them different. So like in the natural real world here, we have SCP. It stands for Secure, Contain, and Protect. One of the aliases of SCPs, because I'm trying to give Easter egg credence to a whole lot of things without name dropping them specifically. You can, when you hear stuff like, especially this term scapies, that's S.C.P. When you hear about the scapies, that's SCPs. That's SCPs on the loose. And SCPs that need to be recaptured and contained. Right? I thought it was funny. You probably think that's so stupid, but I thought it was pretty funny. A nice little tie-in without being directly in your face and directly kind of like feeling like I monetized the brand, which is open for everyone to enjoy and share. That was kind of like my little division from it. So in case I do some injustice to any one of the characters or something, that then be able to put a fine line between what I did and what the actual SCP Wikipedia would say approve of. Right? But yeah, I have this little there. The S.C.Ps in the realm of Millenia, they're called escapees. They're still the D-class personnel. They're still the agents and the scientists. And all are generally part of the NPC community, right? And any and everything involved with the escapees generally has a naturally terrifying background and thus should not be getting ignored. No one's allowed to just remain ignorant on these escapees after any one soul. If any one person fears out there's an escapee somewhere, no one's allowed to be ignorant on it. You have to take it extremely serious because every single one of them, even the most innocent of them, have utterly horrifying backgrounds and premise on why they exist in the first place. Right? So there is that relative dimensional HQ there where to the 11th, umpteenth time, G12, A through K being the Easter egg here for the K class scenarios and stuff and such. So yeah, that is one. Ooh, I do have right beneath that a little pestilence excerpt on explanation as well. So the pestilence. I made a bit of my own relative headcanon to it, along with a storyline, if I do say so, for 049, S.C.P 049, I believe, and how he and his pestilence could make sense while not being overly powered in this universe. Because that's one thing I really took a lot of time out and a lot of patience and stress to figure out, because I never want anything in my realm of Millenia universe to be so exceptionally overpowered it doesn't make sense. I never want anything in my universe of a realm of Millenia to be overpowered to the point where nothing can defeat it. I want everything to have its relative checks and balances, which made me come up with the idea of, in games there is also that concept of real damage, true damage, where it's like there's no avoiding it, right? So I do have that kind of balance system, but also because I don't want the real damage to really be like a scapegoat end all be all, I tried to do my best to think about the powers, the abilities, and scaling for all the characters and their abilities to be done in such a manner where no matter what, no one can ever get to the point of being overly powerful or overpowered. Everyone is relatively balanced, especially here in the realm. But say, like, if you were to take one of my characters and put them in your universe, oh yeah, they're you taking one of my characters and putting it in your universe would basically be putting One Punch Man in some other alternate universe. That's what? No, that's like putting One Punch Man in a volleyball anime. There was no hope for anyone else beating, right? So I make all of my characters extremely and relatively strong, and especially relatively strong to one another, to sort of progress this idea of competitiveness and competitive nature and self-development and getting stronger and getting better, while at the same time making it so that everyone is relatively equal without being extremely overpowered. It's more a battle of wills than anything else, and what you're willing to do, right? So that was an exceptionally hard challenge, especially as I got more and more diverse and included more and more things into the novel. Especially, I say especially a lot in reference to this book. To include when I was doing the S.C.P tie-in, as well as making it so there could be other superhero tie-ins and other this and other that. It was a lot. It was a lot to check and balance all the powers and abilities I was allowing and explaining in order to express the things throughout any and every aspect of the novel, starting from even page 1 here, talking about transmographs and the transmograph and reincarnation families in the book, and how I ultimately decided to make them the tie-in for the S.C.P universe, Wikipedia lore and stuff. Because S.C.P as its own thing is awesome. The S.C.P loving community, we did a great job with doing that as itself, and me just trying to make it a bit more close to home and personal by daring to be what I believe one of the first people actually developing a whole novel universe of content that can include without explicitly revolving around the SCPs themselves. That might be a little bit of my ego taking control there. Just being a bit more extra about it, but pride aside and all that, it was a big aspect, and it was a big task to take on myself there. And I do understand that. So, but yes, the Transmograph family and the SCP tie-ins, to include the Pestilence 096049, Infinite IKEA, all that good, awesome jazz, so on and so forth. I made it as awesome as possible. All right. And I did all the capable things I could possibly do. So, yes, there is a multitude of things here, a multitude of reasons as to why this, that, and everything else. But in particularly, this is quite literally the start of this big old molded book, where page 1 literally has the little notes on the transmograph and the transmograph, McGrath, and the Graphian migrator families and stuff. And 2 pages over has me trying to include SCPs into the universe without fully comprehending exactly how I was planning on tying them in, but just laying down the groundwork of getting ready to include them in, because from the jump I really wanted to have an extremely diverse world to be world built, and just putting pen to paper so I knew what I had to work with and work around in order to figure out how I would ultimately do it. Pages 1 and 2. So, yes, it's been in the making for a long time, and I am proud to say I liked and thoroughly enjoyed all of the biggest aspects that I have gotten to and worked through and I'm still working on. But yes, I am prone to rambling, and I hope you enjoyed this Tourism Tuesday for you. But yes, SCP tie-in and Transmograph, that's the start. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Peace.